with us. Time to talk about the Southern Footy League and, of course, big game coming up, Diggers Day. A lot happening at the Southern Footy. What are you getting excited about?
Cobras.
No, we'll get to the Cobras, mate. Try and contain yourself there. I know they're sitting on top of the ladder. You're very excited, mate. But our next guest, Rob Payne, of course, the Pres of the Morpeth Vale RSL and the Pres of the Southern Footy League, Craig Warman, join us. Gentlemen, how are we?
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us, mate. It's great to be here again.
Always a pleasure, mate. Let's start with you, Rod. It is a big weekend, mate, for the Diggers, and there's a lot of work that goes on. Last year, the helicopters were coming in. We've had everything happening. Helicopters this year?
We'd like to say yes, but unfortunately, our major sponsor, CHC Helicopters, have been heavily involved on the East Coast with all the flood relief work, and they're just not quite able to get there this time. So we're going to go on without it anyhow.
Is it, mate? The Diggers not having a lot of luck, mate. We're about 5 years into Diggers. We've had a COVID, we've had a flood. You might have to rechange the date, mate, because you've got enough power up there.
No. We're quite happy with the date.
Right.
The time of year is excellent. Runs coincidentally into Anzac Day, which this year will make it a very, very full Friday through to Monday for us.
It'll be a big event. Hey, mate, Morpeth Vale play Flagstaff Hill on the Saturday.
Yep.
Anzac Day is the Monday. Why they don't play the game on the Monday?
Oh, well, it's the Southern Footy League give the clubs the option if they want to play on the Anzac Day. We'll certainly program that particular game, but both clubs decided because if they played on the Monday, it'd be a really short week leading into the following Saturday.
Yep.
So they decided to play it on the weekend of the Anzac weekend.
Which is okay. I mean, I think I'd prefer to do that as well, rather than do it on the Monday, because you have to front up to work the next morning, all that sort of thing. So it'd be better to play it on the Sunday anyway.
I think it is too.
Yeah, I just think it's a great idea. I remember last year, we had a chat last year, and I can remember we had problems with COVID, with the ceremonies and all that around there, and I thought, how sad, because Anzac Day is such a great weekend.
Absolutely.
For not only the sport, but just for, the Australians in general. But I feel really sad about that, because we had places where you could have 200 people, but yet at your footy club, if I remember rightly, you could only have 20 people or something. It was a really, really tough time, wasn't it?
It was a tough time. This year we're in a far better space. We've got more people able to attend, so we're really looking forward to as many people as want to come along and watch the show. It's going to be a good event this year.
I reckon the year before COVID, we talked about this, and the crowd that came was phenomenal. You'd be expecting similar this time round?
We certainly hope so.
Yeah.
We're still expecting it may be down a little bit due to the, I suppose, the fallout of COVID. People are still a bit shy about going out into large group areas.
Yeah. Not in the Southern Footy League. Over there in their drive.
No, well, let's talk about the game there, mate. It is Flagstaff Hill, of course, sitting number 1 again on the ladder. Number 1 last year, mate. Don't want to disrespect the Cobras just yet. Morphies are in 4th spot, mate. What kind of game are you expecting?
Oh, this will be an absolute ball terror. This one, Morpeth Vale had the really big win against Port Noarlunga. They've had the forfeit by Noarlunga because of the COVID situation. So they're cherry ripe, ready to go. And Flaggies lost the first one to Ranella, got over the line against Christie's Beach.
Tough one too.
Yeah, it was a tough one against Christie's, because Christie's have improved a lot as well. So looking at it, I think this will be an absolute terrific game. This could be a forerunner to maybe a grand final. Careful.
It's round 3.
Hey?
You're talking great. Cobras are sitting on top. You don't even give them a mention. They're sitting on top.
They've only had 2 games, Ben.
Baz is excited about the Cobras, mate. Excited. Hey, I know we want to talk about...
And Billy Trego's excited about Ranella too. Don't worry about that.
Oh, you want to talk about Ranella? Let's talk about them, mate. Let's have a chat about them. I want to talk about the game against Flagstaff Hill. Hey, I want to ask you this. What time everything get underway? Because it is a big day. It's not like turn up for the 2 o'clock game. There's lots before, lots after, and then even the next day following.
Yeah. No, we'll have our normal start-off time. The under-13s will kick off at 8 o'clock in the morning, and there'll be 5 games during the day.
Wow.
13s, 15s, 17.5s, Bs and As.
Yep.
There's a luncheon for our distinguished guests at the Morpeth Vale Footy Club from 1 o'clock, I think it is. And then, of course, that will also be our tribe broadcast game as well. So we'll have some interviews with the dignitaries in the radio van as well.
All right, the jumpers, mate, pretty spectacular again.
Oh, mate, and they're named after Captain James Stanley Malpas, who was a World War I digger, who was awarded the Military Cross for gallantry service. He was also a league president from 1929 to 31 in the Southern Footy League. So a fitting person to be celebrated in this way, but he's celebrated every year with us because the best on ground in that particular game wins the James Stanley Malpas medal.
Yeah.
And on the back of the Guernsey this year, we've got listed all the previous winners of that particular medal.
Okay.
How long does it take to organise an event like this? You know, because you've got the format, under 13s are playing 15s, 17s, then the game goes on, and then there's the jumpers after.
Yep.
The presentations after.
Yep.
Then that rolls on the next day into Anzac Day. And it just doesn't... I think people look at it and they go, oh, well, that's pretty easy to organise. How much work? From your side of it, I mean, is it nearly a year in organising the next year?
I'm already planning next year now.
Yeah.
I've got the ideas formulated. I've started to do the groundwork on the Guernsey design already. So we're looking forward to following on with the RSL National theme, and we'll probably be doing an Indigenous round Guernsey for next Digger Day.
Wow. Big.
Hey, Ron,
Big
I
weekend.
don't want to get into the controversy because there's so much good, but, you know, I spend a lot of time back and forth travelling into the United States, and they do an unbelievable job of acknowledging the service people that have gone to war for them. We seem to be behind, way behind in that. Are we getting better? You know, they turn up, like if you go to a basketball game, for example, and there's some ex-servicemen there, they'll acknowledge them. There'll be a standing ovation from the crowd. Mm-hmm. I feel like if we do it, everyone kind of goes, oh, well, yeah, well, thanks very much. I don't know that are we getting closer to getting the respect that we deserve for those people that have sacrificed for us?
I think yes.
Yeah.
Personally, I think yes. And that's reflected in the numbers that are attending the dawn services and the main parades.
Yep.
They died off for a little while and now they're building up again. Our dawn service at Morford Vale is the biggest dawn service in the state.
It's a bit like the anthem, isn't it? I mean, we're not great singers of the anthem, but the Americans,
we're getting better.
They get right into it. They get right into it.
But I think, just on that, Phil, it starts at the very young age.
100%.
And now it's getting pushed as part of our curriculum. When we would go to school, we learned about the diggers and etc. etc. Now it's starting to be brought back into the school curriculum, etc. And the amount of young kids that want to know what's about the history of World War I, World War II, and it's reflected in the number of kids that actually turn up at a dawn service down at Morford Vale as well.
Yeah, it's a pretty good point. There are more kids that turn up. Yeah, I've noticed that when I've gone with mum, more kids.
As part of that, leading into every year, the RSL, in conjunction with the council, run the youth vigil where they look after the monument for the whole 24 hours beforehand, with a guard of honour, etc. So the Sea Scouts, the Girl Guides, everybody gets involved, and I think you'll find from that stems the enthusiasm that's now being generated in regards to the Anzac Day.
And we've just started this year. We have just started building into the youth. The youth vigil in the south will have a committee constructed of youth. They will actually develop and run the vigil. The older blokes like myself will be in the background. We've got the knowledge and experience. We'll be the mentors for them to bring on and carry the tradition forward.
Okay, what a great idea. Hey boys, look, it's fantastic. Always a pleasure to get you, mate. It is a terrific weekend coming up, Anzac Day weekend. Need to get down. Morphy up against Flagstaff Hill at Morford Vale. Get down and support that, and it is a great weekend. Diggers Day. Don't miss it. Southern Footy League, well done. Stay with us. Still, a bit more to come.